where I answer Christian athletes' most asked questions and dive deeper into the Word. Before we jump into it, make sure you like, you follow, you subscribe, you follow on Instagram, just hit all the buttons. Now we are going to go in, and I would love to introduce Riley Simmons.
Yes, hello. I'm so excited to be on this. My name is Riley Simmons. I am a track and field athlete here at Memphis. I'm a hammer thrower, so it's kind of a rare sport, but it's a lot of fun. And I'm just so excited to be on this. Meeting Jasmine's been amazing, so I'm super excited.
I'm super excited to have you on here because low-key, I've seen you on Instagram, and it's really crazy to have you on here.
Stop.
But to introduce the topic, I wanted to give a little background to it. I was listening to a sermon almost. They were kind of doing an interview because Bishop T.D. Jakes had just come out with a new book called Crushing, Turning Pressure into Power. And something that he said was that we talk so much about the promise, we forget to talk about the process. And it really hit me. It kind of clocked me low-key. And
no, that just clocked me.
I was listening to it and I was like, wait.
Yep.
So it really made me think, how often do we get so caught up in the appearance of God in our testimony that we forget to go into the struggle and where we were at before that he came into the scene. So today's topic is called how do I go from struggling to striving? Yes, I have my iPad this time instead of my little notebook, so I will be scrolling back and forth. But yeah, we're going to just shed a little bit of light on how uncomfortable the process is sometimes when we are in our process to get to our successes.
Yeah, no, that's real. It's one of the most untalked about things. It probably wasn't good grammar right there, but y'all will learn that about me. I just make up my own words sometimes. But seriously, we always talk about the part of our testimony where we're saved, we know Jesus now, and some people like to shy away from the stuff that kind of sucks, honestly, the mud, the pit, so I love this topic. I think it's really important to touch on.
Yeah, so to get into it, I'm going to start with some of our questions. The first one I have is, when are times in your personal walk where you just felt really crushed?
Yeah, I think for me, even just veering away from my sport a little bit, when I first gave my life to Jesus, one thing I noticed the most was how many friends I lost. And that was really hard for me because I was a girl who did have a lot of friends. I had a big friend group, very social, very outgoing. And instantly when I realized hey, I'm not living how God wants me to live, I had to cut a lot of things out of my life, stop doing a lot of things that I was doing. And with the things that I stopped doing, my friends also stopped kind of walking with me as well. And so that was hurtful for me because I really did love a lot of my friends, but it also just taught me not everybody is supposed to be right by our side. And some people were just weighing me down. Yeah. And so it ended up being a beautiful thing, but it definitely hurts just seeing people turn their backs on you. It could be friends, it could be family, whatever the case is. I mean, Jesus does tell us in the Bible, you will have people turn their backs on you. Everybody turn their back on Jesus. So it's going to happen. It's just a part of the walk. But I think that was just really difficult for me to grasp at first, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I really get that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And kind of continuing into that and going more onto the sports side. What are some times in the sport where the process just felt really unbearable?
A lot of them, honestly. I mean, for me, I haven't been surrendered to Christ for a very long time. It's been a little over a year now. But there was definitely a couple years where I just walked in very lukewarm waters of trying to be a Christian. And a lot of that was just hard because I was half in the world and half trying to know God. And in that half in the world part of myself, I made my sport my identity. And so anytime I would have a bad practice or a bad meet, I lost it. I was out there cussing people out. I was out there, didn't want to talk to nobody. It's my character completely flipped once track wasn't going well, and that's how I knew that I made track my identity. And so it did feel unbearable because I am a very hard worker. I do take pride in the work I put in physically to this sport, put aside emotionally or mentally, but physically the work that I put in, I just thought that I deserved to win. And so I think that's one thing God humbled me a lot with is we actually don't deserve anything.
Yeah.
So like I actually don't deserve to even be an athlete, but
Yeah.
by his grace I'm an athlete. And so seeing sports as more of a privilege has helped me a lot with that. But there definitely was a time where if track was not going well, like I didn't even know how to live correctly because I was so angry at the world that track wasn't going the way that I wanted it to go.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot.
Yes.
I've been in that situation on like a little bit of a flip side in the sense of I was injured, and so I've dealt with a lot of injuries in my sport, and it would almost be like I could never finish a season, and so then I would be like really close and really feeling myself getting to where like I felt my potential was, and then something would take me out and I couldn't finish, and so I realized I was putting my identity in my sport because I was like unable to do my sport anymore, and it was like I didn't really know who I was without it.
No, that's so real. And I kind of a little backstory too, because I can relate to that a lot. Not really on the injury side. I've had an injury, but I think more of my darkness came from the transfer portal. So I've been to about 4 schools. That's kind of crazy. But I started at Mississippi State, and then I transferred to Florida State, and then I committed to Auburn, got cut, transferred to Memphis. And so, or flipped the two. Committed to Auburn, transferred to Florida State, transferred to Memphis. And so I've felt betrayal from coaches. I've felt like I'm not good enough for programs. And constantly I just kept telling myself like, but I was supposed to be one of the best track athletes out of high school. Like, I mean, I was on top of the country in the state of Florida out of high school. And not to say that to brag, but to say that to think that I really thought that I was going to be one of the best NCAA athletes. And when I got to college, I was let down by coaches in training, and I was unhealthy, and I got hurt, and I got sick, and just so many events took place that pulled me away from being successful athletically to where I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not going to be one of the best in the NCAA, and I'm not. Side note, I'm not. But it was hard for me to grasp, and that's, like you said, that's how I knew that my identity was in the sport, because all the coaches that tried to hold me back and pull me back was taking away the love for life, honestly. Not even just my love for the sport, like love for life, because I thought that I was just here on this earth to be a good athlete, because that's all I ever was in high school until I met Christ. So, yeah.
Going into that, I feel like you kind of touched on this though, a little bit. I was going to ask how you managed, like, the process feeling unbearable. I mean, I really could not manage it until I fully surrendered my life to Christ. Because like I said, there was years where I lived half in and half out. And I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but like, if you're not fully surrendered, you're not going to experience the true fruits of the Lord. And so until I gave up the things that I was holding on to, like making my sport my identity and realizing like, okay, like I said, I actually don't even deserve to be an athlete. Like, I don't deserve to be here, to be in this facility, like to have a healthy body, but by the grace of God, I'm here and I'm blessed. So it really just took a perspective change of like, okay, I may not be the best in the NCAA, but I'm here and I can work hard and I can show somebody around me what hard work looks like. I can show somebody what discipline looks like. And I'm here to meet people and connect with people and shed the light of Jesus to people. And if in the process of that I become a good athlete, awesome. If not, still awesome, because it wasn't part of God's plan. So a perspective change is everything God has taught me. And that's just knowing that anything on this earth is not my identity, because I'm just living to get to the kingdom one day. Going into kind of like where you were touching on like being able to share Jesus in all of this, like how did being put in those trials kind of prepare you for where you are now?
The coolest thing in the world, I feel like, that I say all the time is like, because I've been through a lot in my childhood. I struggled with sleep anxiety. I had really bad eating disorders throughout sports. And so those things were some of the hardest moments of my life. But I tell people all the time, if I didn't get put through those things, I wouldn't be able to help women today that are coming to me about like body image issues and eating disorders and things that I can literally personally relate to because I went through it. And so it's just so cool to see God work in ways that's like, that might have been one of the darkest moments of my life, but I would relive it all over again if it means I get to go help another woman because I went through it. And so I could say that for anything. I mean, God puts us through trials and tribulations so that we can come out stronger. Like, our faith has to be tested, just as our bodies has to get broken down in the weight room to get stronger. Like, we're never going to be strong enough to handle what the world has to offer if we don't go through some things and learn how to rely on God. Because, like, I truly believe that my flesh would never seek God if everything was perfect.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I have evil flesh, so why would I go and seek God if everything's perfect and happy-go-lucky? Like, usually when I'm at the rock bottom is when I find God the most, and I think that's, like, one of the most beautiful things. So
yeah, that reminds me a lot of something I heard, or somebody said this recently. They were like, people always say that God wouldn't put you through something you can't handle, but he actually does, because he's doing it because you cannot handle it without having him.
Oh, that's so good.
And that's what you made me think about.
That is so good. Yeah, no, that is so good, because we can't handle it. Like, I'm not capable of anything without God. Anything good, at least. I'm capable of a lot of bad, but nothing good.
Yeah. Moving on to, like, kind of a newer question.
Yeah.
Has there been times where you felt like you made it into a new season only to be thrown back into, like, a completely new struggle?
For sure. That could be in sport, that could be out of sport. I feel like the enemy has a really good way of, like, knowing when you finally make a breakthrough with the Lord, like, oh, I made it, this is what I prayed for. He's got a good way of smacking you right back in the face, like, because he doesn't want you to succeed and have faith that the Lord has you. Like, he doesn't want you to think those things. And so, I mean, if I can think of, like, a specific example, I'm planning an event right now at the University of Memphis for the city of Memphis, and there's been left and right, like, oh, I made it, and then I got put down, and then I made it, and then I got put down. And so one of the things was we made it all through the planning process of getting a public university to approve a revival night. Like, that's God, like, truly, especially in the city of Memphis. So that was such, like, I have chills even saying that, but, like, that was such an aha moment of being like, wow, like, this is God really moving. We did it. We got it approved. About 3 or 4 weeks later, they come to me with all these problems about the event, and they try and take it off the website and shut it down. And it's like, dang, like, I did all of that for what? Like, it's discouraging. And so there's so many different examples for that in sports and all of it. I've gotten knocked down so many times in track and field, but now that I know the Lord, it's kind of, like, encouraging. Like, I say to kids all the time, or women all the time, like, honestly, if the enemy's trying to knock you down, like, come at him and be like, bet. Like, you want to come after me because I'm doing something for the Lord, so bet. Like, I've got the Lord on my side, and I'm always going to come out on top, no matter how many times you try and knock me down. So even when I get into that new season, and I will praise the Lord because it's beautiful and it's amazing, I know the enemy's still going to try and take me down. But it's just a matter of if we have the armor to fight him or not.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to attack someone so hard if they're not doing something.
Exactly. If we don't threaten him, he won't do nothing. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to be a threat to the enemy. Like, if we're prepared, like, I'll be a threat to him any day. Yeah. So, yeah.
This is something, to, like, expose myself a little bit. I was telling my mom about this, and I was like, what is a question that you think would be really good to go deeper in this? And she said, she kind of explained, like, she wished she knew things when she was in her struggle seasons. And so I just thought of the question. It was like, what is something you would have wanted to know from future you when you were in that struggle?
I just got asked this question the other day, and it's just a question that it makes me so sad but so grateful at the same time, because I really wish I just knew Jesus sooner than I have. But at the same time, I got put through what I got put through for a reason. And so I think if I could just look back at little me, I wish I saw myself how God sees me. Like, I just picked myself apart so much. I was so insecure. Like, I just talked so poorly down on myself. And it makes me sad, because now that I know Jesus, I know how he sees me, and the image he created me in. And so I just wish I could tell her, like, how God sees her instead of how I saw myself.
That's really good. For the last question, I wanted to ask, for the people watching, what are ways that you would advise someone to help them in that process?
In the process of?
Just, like, the struggle of, like, getting to God's promise.
Yeah, that's a deep question. That's a great question, though. Honestly, just, like, be open to wise counsel. Like, be open to what people have to say to you. Like, if you are seeking wise counsel and seeking somebody that you trust, like, be open to what they have to say. Because one thing about me, when I was in high school, I was not trying to hear anybody tell me anything. Like, it was my way or the highway, and I still have those tendencies that I gotta fight. But I think just be open to like hear what somebody has to say, because that could be the seed that's planted. And so when you're going through something, also know that like there is a rhyme or reason to it. Like it's gonna be understood eventually, even if it's not until we get to heaven, but it's gonna be understood. And so even when trials come now, it's like I told you, it's like bet, like let's go. And so instead of being discouraged by it, be encouraged by it, honestly, because I mean every trial we go through just turns into a story.
Yeah, that's really good. So first of all, thank you
Yes,
for all of
course.
this. But I also wanted to ask you to kind of like, you know, advertise your revival night a
Oh my
little
gosh.
bit.
No, I would love that. Yeah, so we're putting on a revival night at the University of Memphis on October 10th at 5 p.m. Everybody is welcome. It's open to all ages, all people. You don't have to be a student. And it's going to be amazing. I have a team that's been working so hard behind the scenes, and it's going to be amazing. I know God's going to do big things. This was an event put on my heart back in May, and so I could say so much about it, but just be there and y'all will experience it.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
for all
thank
of
you.
This. Before we close out, make sure again that you subscribe and you like and you follow and you comment your thoughts. Share what you think. Share it with a friend. Make sure that you follow on Instagram at RunTheGoodRace3, and always remember to run the good race.
Yes, thank you.